Hello, I'm Phil Green and I'm the Programme Leader for the BA Honours Theatre Arts course here at the University of Derby. This presentation is correct at the time of delivery and is subject to change. We review the content of our courses regularly, making changes where necessary to improve your experience and graduate prospects. For the latest information, please visit www.derby.ac.uk. So why study theatre at the University of Derby? Well, it's a highly practical course. The practice leads the work. It's about you developing and growing as a practitioner in a safe working environment where you can take risks and experiment. You'll be taught by people who are not only academically qualified, but are theatre practitioners in their own right. But what's really unique about the course is it's run from Derby Theatre, a professional producing theatre with a growing reputation nationally and internationally for developing new work and new practitioners. Derby Theatre prides itself on being a learning theatre. This means that our doors are open for anyone to learn through and about theatre. This work's been recognised by the Arts Council, and the theatre has managed to secure an extra £2 million in funding to further develop its community and education programme. The programme at Derby Theatre includes a mixture of in-house and touring productions. This will be your home for the 3 years you are with us. You'll share the space and work alongside the actors and other theatre professionals. Each day you'll enter the building through the stage door, sign in just like everyone else that works in the theatre, and walk down the corridor past all the dressing rooms until you reach your teaching space. The spaces you'll get to use include the main house. It's worth pointing out here that there are some productions where you'll get free tickets and others where you get a specially discounted rate for theatre students. The studio is where most of your lessons will take place. It has professional work programmed in over the weekends, but during the week is your teaching space. It's also one of your main performance spaces. The rehearsal room is our second teaching space. You'll also get to work with technical theatre students and costume and set design students who are also housed in Derby Theatre. You have access to most areas of the building and you'll be invited to get involved in the life of the theatre. So, for example, every time a new production goes into rehearsal, there's a meet and greet session in the front of house area where the actors and the company are introduced to the rest of the theatre staff. Students are invited too. The theatre also has a separate rehearsal room in Foreman Street where you'll be able to sit in and watch the professional company rehearse, and where you'll have your own rehearsals for your major productions. The learning you'll experience at Derby Theatre goes through 3 distinct phases. Year 1 is all about process, experimentation and taking risks. There are no numerical grades to worry about in your first year. It's a straight pass or fail, so you can just concentrate on the work. Year 2 carries on that experimentation but encourages you to find your own voice as a practitioner and begin to identify what path you'd like to take into the profession. Year 3 sees you progressively working as an independent artist and practitioner, developing a clear progression into your chosen areas of work. So what does that mean in practice? What will you be studying? The work is led by the practice, and it's in that context that we engage with the theory. You'll get to work with the professionals that visit the building. For example, this year students have had workshops with Gecko and the Gary Clark Dance Company, as well as professional workshops in stage combat, clowning and playwriting, to name a few. The first 2 years look like this. You'll see at the beginning of year 1 there's a spotlight module. There's a spotlight module in each of the 3 years, and this is an employment strand that runs right through your course. So in your first year, your spotlight on industry practice, you'll get to meet staff from all the departments in the theatre. and you'll get to shadow them to see exactly what they get up to. Performance skills is the module where you will look at the skills of an actor. So you'll study major practitioners, and it's assessed through performance on the main stage. Writing in action introduces you to writing for the stage. You'll look at character, plot, and development of narrative. Critical dialogues looks at how we discuss performance. So we'll look at some of the movements throughout the 20th century, how our views of performance have changed, and what frameworks we use to talk about performance. Theatre Lab is a practical module that looks at the devising process, but also specifically what elements can go into making a performance. So you look at lighting, sound, Foley sound, etc. In year 2, theatre making is a devising module where you'll prepare performance for a public showing. Performance practice is your major performance module of the second year, which will end in a performance in the main house at the end of the year, directed by a professional director. Spotlight on research and professional development does 2 things. The research bit helps you prepare for your year 3 research project, and the professional development is a work experience element where you'll choose a department within the theatre to work alongside. Applied theatre practice is a module that covers work in the community or in education. This year, our second years worked on a piece for the elderly, specifically dealing with dementia, and in years past, they've taken productions into schools. In year 3, you start with directors and directing, which looks at the craft of directing and again is assessed practically. Your research project is what's known in other places as a dissertation. However, you can choose the option of having 50% of it marked on the writing and 50% of it being marked on practical work. Independent production is your final year show, and Spotlight on Employability is a module that helps you put together a portfolio for entering the industry. So we'll look at things like audition technique, headshots, how to approach agents, etc. You can also take the option of joint honours, where you'll get to study theatre arts alongside another subject of your choice. Joint honours students have a choice of modules. All the ones you can see here are taught alongside single honours students, except for devising laboratory in year 2, which is your performance opportunity in your second year. In your third year, you can choose from this selection. Tragedy is not taught in the theatre, that's delivered by the English department. Admission to the course is by audition and interview. We're not looking for the finished article in terms of performance, we'll be looking for potential, commitment and energy. In short, we'll be looking for a bit of fire in the belly. I want to finish by looking at a few examples of student work. Here's The Pillowman and 5 Kinds of Silence. They were final third year productions last year. They were performed, directed, designed and crewed by students and performed in the Studio Theatre. 1984 was a second year production directed by Derby Theatre's own artistic director Sarah Brigham and performed in the main house. Again, this was performed, designed and crewed by students. If you just can't stay away from the theatre, there's also opportunities outside the course in the wider life of the university before you launch yourself into the world of employment. I hope you found this presentation useful. Please don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions or would like further information. You can contact us through marketing@derby.ac.uk, and don't forget to look out for our @Derby UniArts social media channels on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter.